I'm Max Verstappen. I race for Aston Martin Rebel Racing. I am the best driver because I believe that I'm the best.
Barcelona, 2016. A kid, 18 years old. First race in a Red Bull. He crosses the line. Arms raised, history made. Max Verstappen wins a Formula One Grand Prix. Niki Lauda calls him the talent of the century. The world celebrates a new legend. But Max had a secret. He couldn't legally drive on public roads. If you want to see how a teenager without a driver's license became F1's most feared competitor, hit that subscribe button right now. We're chasing 10K, and this story gets darker. Because this isn't just about a driver who won races. This is about a driver who forced Formula One to rewrite its rulebook approximately 10 times. And by the end, you'll understand why Max Verstappen is the most controversial champion in motorsport history. The setup, core problem, September 30th, 2015. Max Verstappen takes his road driving test. 5 hours with an instructor. That's it. The examiner tells him to go right. Max goes left. He doesn't yield to pedestrians. When questioned, he argues about whether they were actually at the crossing yet. Years later, his confession, "It would be quite embarrassing if I hadn't passed. I think he was nice to me." 8 months later, he wins the Spanish Grand Prix. He had his F1 super license before his road license. He was winning races while most teenagers were parallel parking. But that wasn't the most shocking part. Because Max Verstappen didn't just arrive in Formula One, he declared war on it. 2014, Toro Rosso announces they're signing a 17-year-old. Not 18, not 19, 17. Japan 2014 free practice. Max becomes the youngest person to ever participate in an F1 weekend, 17 years and 3 days old. Australia 2015. He lines up on the grid at 17 years and 166 days. He shatters the previous record by almost 2 full years. The FIA was rattled. Within months, they introduced the Verstappen clause. No one under 18 with a valid road driver's license could race in Formula One ever again. They literally rewrote the sport's constitution because of one teenager. But that was just the start. The next 60 seconds will show you why F1 had to change the rules again. And again. Stay with me, because what happened at Spa 2016 changed everything. Spa 2016. Defending against Kimi Räikkönen. Max moves under braking, full speed. Kimi slams the brakes to avoid catastrophic collision. Räikkönen's warning was icy. Close battles. But when I have to brake from full speed when he turns in front of me, that's not correct. The FIA responded immediately. They banned moving under braking. It was the first rule change Verstappen forced, but it wouldn't be the last. Because Max wasn't just racing. He was rewriting Formula One with every overtake, every controversy, every moment of ruthless brilliance. Early payoff. First twist. Fast forward to 2021. Abu Dhabi. December 12th. Final race of the season. Max Verstappen and Lewis Hamilton tied on points. Winner takes all. For 57 laps, Hamilton looked untouchable. The 8th world title was within reach. Lap 53 of 58. Nicholas Latifi crashes. Race director Michael Masi makes a decision that will haunt Formula One for years. Only 5 lapped cars, the ones between Hamilton and Verstappen, were allowed to unlap themselves. The FIA broke their own rules. Article 48.12 states all lapped cars must unlap, but the final lap created a moment that still haunts Lewis Hamilton today. Hamilton on 44-lap-old hard tires, Verstappen on fresh, soft tires, 1 lap, turn 5. Verstappen overtook him. Max Verstappen, for the first time ever, is champion of the world. Mercedes protested. 3 months later, the FIA admitted human error led to the fact that not all cars were allowed to unlap themselves. But they declared the results valid, final, and cannot be changed. Not, if you're still watching, you already know this isn't a normal F1 story. Drop a subscribe. We're building the ultimate F1 community, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Deep Dive. The Revelation. Hamilton boycotted the FIA prize-giving ceremony. He went radio silent for weeks. November 2024, 3 years later. Toto Wolff told The Telegraph, "We haven't got over it. I talked to Lewis about it yesterday. I think about it every day, and so does he. But Max Verstappen? He was just getting started. 2022, 15 wins, 454 points, both new single-season records. 2023. That was the year Max broke Formula One. 19 wins out of 22 races, an 86.35% win rate, 10 consecutive wins from Miami to Monza, 575 points, 21 podiums out of 22 races. He led 1,003 laps, the first driver in history to lead over 1,000 laps in a single season. He won the title with 6 races remaining. The gap between Max and teammate Sergio Perez? 290 points, larger than most championship-winning margins in F1 history. Red Bull had created a one-car team. His only non-podium of 2023? 5th place in Singapore. He was eliminated in Q2 by just 0.007 seconds, but his most legendary performance was still coming. The consequences. November 3rd, 2024. Interlagos, Brazil. Max Verstappen started 17th. Engine penalty. Rain delayed qualifying, trapped him in Q2. What followed was the greatest wet weather drive in modern Formula One history. Lap 1 alone, 6 positions gained. He went around the outside of turn 3 to pass 3 cars in one move. By lap 12, he'd recovered 11 places. He set 17 fastest laps during the race. His winning margin? 19.477 seconds. 17th on the grid to the win. Max Verstappen wins the São Paulo Grand Prix. After the race, Lando Norris said, "It's not talent, it's just luck." Max's response was calculated revenge. At Zandvoort, Norris had beaten Verstappen and used Max's catchphrase, "Simply lovely." After Brazil, Verstappen deliberately said, "Do you know what that is? Simply lovely." We're about to reveal the 2025 comeback that almost was, and why it proves Max Verstappen doesn't just race, he breaks people. Stay locked in. But 2024 would be Max's 4th consecutive world championship. 2025, that's where the story takes its darkest turn. After the Dutch Grand Prix in August 2025, Max trailed Oscar Piastri by 104 points. When asked if he still believed the title was possible, his response was blunt. No, personally not. He'd publicly admitted he'd checked out. But Max Verstappen doesn't stay down. What followed was one of the greatest comebacks in Formula One history. At Spain 2025, after a safety car restart, Verstappen was told to give position back to George Russell. He slowed at turn 5, then deliberately accelerated and collided with Russell. Oh, contact. Max Verstappen into the side of George Russell. His admission afterward was chilling. "Everything went red. That's when I snapped." The penalty? 10 seconds plus 3 penalty points instead of the usual 2. The stewards believed it was deliberate. He dropped from 5th to 10th, 9 championship points lost. Do the math. The final championship deficit would be just 2 points. But what happened next shocked the entire paddock. 6 victories in the final 9 races. Italy, Azerbaijan, United States Sprint and Grand Prix, Las Vegas, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. He won 8 races total in 2025, more than anyone else despite losing the championship. He closed 102 of the 104-point gap. Final standings: Norris, 408 points. Verstappen, 406 points. 2 points. 3 ending scenarios. When asked if he had regrets, Max's response was pure warrior mentality. "I have no regrets of my season. I'm sitting here now with probably a better feeling than what I had last year at this time." Scenario 1. Max returns in 2026 with new regulations and reclaims his throne. 4 consecutive titles become 5, 6, 7. The Verstappen era continues until no one can remember Formula One without him. Scenario 2. The psychological toll of 2025. That 2-point loss haunts him. The deliberate crash, the rage, the what-ifs. Max becomes the champion who almost won everything, but broke himself trying. Scenario 3. Red Bull watches as their dynasty crumbles. McLaren's new dominance, Ferrari's resurgence. And Max? He walks away from Formula One on his own terms. 71 wins, 4 titles, and a legacy as the most controversial, most dominant, most feared driver the sport has ever seen. Unresolved questions, but here's what keeps me awake at night. Was Abu Dhabi 2021 justice or robbery? Was Spain 2025 the moment Max's ruthlessness finally cost him everything? Can any driver, Norris, Piastri, Leclerc, ever truly beat Verstappen when he's at his peak? Or is the real question this: what happens when a driver manufactured for war finally faces the one opponent he can't intimidate, himself? 71 wins, 4 consecutive world championships, 19 wins in a single season, 575 points in a year, records that may stand for decades. But Max Verstappen's legacy isn't just statistics, it's the mentality. When Miami fans booed him in 2023, his response was pure Verstappen. As long as I stand on the top of the podium, that is the most important thing. I take the trophy home, and they go back to their houses. When threatened by the FIA over swearing, what are we 5-year-olds? When George Russell complained about him in Qatar 2024, Max told him privately, "I will purposely go out of my way to put you on your head in the wall." If you made it this far, you already know. Max Verstappen isn't just fast. He's Formula One's most beautiful disaster. A driver who rewrote the rulebook, dominated an era, and lost a championship by 2 points after the greatest comeback attempt in modern racing. So tell me, is Max Verstappen the greatest driver of his generation? Or is he the villain Formula One needed to remind us why we watch? Drop your answer in the comments. And if you want more deep dives into F1's greatest stories, subscribe. Because this season, the drama's only getting started.